clerk, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They can give room for the attendance. The minutes can reflect the roll call of the various trustees and staff. Let's move on to item 3. I entertain a motion for approval of the two village board and the file of 124 Plan Commission minutes as presented.
Make the motion to approve. A second.
Motion is second. As all comments, questions, clarifications on the minutes?
Yes.
Mhm.
On the planning commission, it has me written down as commission Antoine, it's not the Antoine.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
No one
I
abstained?
would say absent.
Absent, okay. That motion passes. Item 4, anybody in the audience on a non-agenda item? Move forward. Item 5, any information has been presented in normal fashion. Let's move on to item 6, resolutions, ordinance, action items. Item A is resolution commending Assistant Police Chief Emmett Grissom on his retirement. Since I always miss this, I'll take care of this first. We'll take an offer motion in a second.
I'll offer.
Motion. Second.
Offer motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Assistant Chief Grissom, come on up.
As our long-standing tradition, we have an individual who was dedicated the vast majority of their working career to the community and is ready to move on to other life changes. We always like to make a special thank you, and we do that in the form of a resolution, and we will be doing that tonight. So I'll read a couple of the comments, and then I will. Assistant Chief wants to make a statement, I will let him do that. So there's a resolution commending Assistant Chief Emmett Grissom on his retirement and for his years of service to the village of Grafton. Whereas Emmett A. Grissom is retiring from his village of Grafton employment on April 4th, 2023, after diligently serving the people of the village of Grafton and the community for 34 years. And whereas Emmett began his employment with the Grafton Police Department on January 30th, 1989, and whereas during his tenure, Emmett has conscientiously and capably exercised responsibilities to all positions he has held with the Grafton Police Department. First as a police cadet for 2 years, followed by being hired on full-time as a police officer for 15 years, followed by a promotion to sergeant for 2 years, followed by a promotion to police captain for 13 years, including a 1-year period during this time as being appointed interim chief of police, followed by promotion to assistant chief. Now therefore be it resolved that the village of Grafton or the village board of the village of Grafton does hereby acknowledge with sincere appreciation and gratitude the over 34 years of dedicated service that Emmett has provided to the community. And be it further resolved that the village board and the village staff of the village of Grafton do hereby wish Emmett the very best on his retirement and all his future endeavors. Congratulations.
You guys normally know how much I like doing this, so thank you very much for this, 30 years, long time, a lot of changes in the department and the community since I've been here. Ever since it was just a 2-lane highway, and the only thing beyond that point was lease size, so, but I've enjoyed my time here. I greatly enjoyed my time working for Grafton in this community at the high school here. What Jim would always say is we moved across the street. High school and just came across. So it's been a pleasure. Been long enough. Looking forward to my retirement. Department's in great hands right now. Chief Caponera, and thank you.
Well deserved. Let's move on to item B. Item B is for the plan commission. We have one item, and that is resolution recommending approval of final plat for Stonewall Farm subdivision phase 3. That is a resolution.
I'll offer. Motion. Oh, second.
Offer motion, a second. I think pretty much everyone is aware that final plat resolution is really dependent on, yes,
We, the clerk, we called the clerk, we had asked for our 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Myself and Brian, we put a message in that we asked, we didn't talk to somebody, we talked to the clerk. We're requesting a 3-minute talk on this before the resolution.
You want to, okay,
It's-
Could you state your name and address, please?
My name is Brian Behrens. My address is 1927 County Truck W. What I would like to address the board on tonight is the fact that we have some severe drainage problems coming off the Stonewall subdivision. We tried to meet with the developer, Bob Tillman. We did meet with him for a matter of a few minutes. He turned around, walked away and stormed out. We also talked with the engineer, tried to get some issues resolved regarding our water problems. Not so sure we resolved anything. I'm hoping that with Amber's help, we can get some resolution to this issue. I'm also concerned about future problems here. The main thing I'm concerned about is I'll put myself in, or try to put yourselves in my position. I pulled into my driveway one day on Second and Rose, and I see a black circle out on the west property. I'm wondering what the heck is it? Didn't take long to realize there was a 36-inch culvert emptying out onto our property from one of the reservoirs or stormwater collection sites. And our neighbor Schrader's, Marilyn Roberts, they had a 24-inch emptying out on their property. Disappointed in the fact that we were obviously never asked if we could have this kind of stormwater discharged on our properties. We're also concerned that because of this discharge, we might be creating wetlands on our properties where none existed prior. And I'm hoping that the village will take another look at their stormwater plans that include what's going to happen to the neighbor's property. This is not asking too much. The engineer, when we met with him that day with Bob and Marilyn's family, part of my family, gave us all kinds of numbers and everything as to, their calculations, how this water was all going to work and how it was going to be less than before. Well, that may be true, but there was never a 36-inch culvert or a 24-inch culvert discharge of that water on our property.
Okay, Brian, I'm just gonna have to just real quick. Amber, does this have any bearing on the final plat resolution that's before us tonight in this specific area? Because the final
Well,
plat
we-
resolution is really an acknowledgement that the preliminary plat, there's been no significant changes.
Right, so there's been no significant changes from the preliminary plat. I will say all of Stonewall Farms is contributing to the water issues that it is.
So it's an issue and we do need to deal with it, and we will. Unfortunately, it's this action that's in front of us tonight is just affirming that there's no significant changes from the preliminary plat that was previously approved. So Amber, do me a favor, can you set up one time?
We've been working on it for a month.
Okay, so if it doesn't sound like Brian is getting either the communication or the resolution he's looking for, so do me a favor, can you shoot me an email and let me know what the current status is? Sure. Copy Jesse, and Brian, I will jump in as needed.
Appreciate your help, and I sure hope the board and
the village take another look at this
Absolutely.
stormwater and how it affects the neighbors.
Okay, Mike?
Mr. President, I just want to point out to the board, there's conditions of approval. Accompanying the, your action, the resolution tonight. Those conditions include stormwater management plans and construction plans being approved by the village engineer. So your action tonight, if you approve, subject to the conditions that have been recommended. I think the engineer is going to stay involved in the stormwater. In the stormwater plans.
Well, we appreciate that, everything that's being done. We want, hoping to see some action. And,
You've escalated it. We will put appropriate people on it. And we will continue to work on it until all stormwater issues have been resolved.
Thank you.
Are these conditions of approval, are these the original conditions, or were these just recently added?
It sounds like standard conditions. I'm sorry, I don't have the plan commission stuff, but it sounds like standard conditions. The original stormwater management plan, just so everyone understands, was approved. The biggest issue at this point is that groundwater was not taken into consideration. This caused a lot of issues out there.
So again, part of this approval is that condition has to be. That condition needs to be resolved.
I would suggest that maybe you could add a condition that the developer should address current groundwater concerns. As that hasn't been in a previous condition.
Isn't that kind of general, just that general statement? I mean, is that too general? Is that?
Have something more specific.
Sure, go for it.
So groundwater is affecting our sanitary sewer, and maybe more specifically, we should identify no sewer hookups permitted until the groundwater.
That's a whole separate issue than what they're talking about.
That's
too.
different.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
But again, in terms of the resolution itself.
So how about if we manage this? And I don't, obviously I don't want to all of a sudden open up a situation where everything comes to a grinding halt, especially if we're looking at trying to resolve this. So it says right here, the stormwater management plans and construction plans shall be approved by the village engineer. So do we need to revise that to say to be revisited and approved? Can you put the word revisited, including stormwater and
And
groundwater?
groundwater. Sure, that would
How
work.
does the village board feel about adding that to the conditions? That gives it a little bit more teeth.
So again, I guess my question is, are we still putting the whole onus of all groundwater on the developer?
I'm just saying revisited, so it may be some combination. I mean, obviously you want to revisit, right? You're revisiting it now anyways,
Absolutely, yes.
so.
So I think having something in the conditions is definitely helpful.
Yes, Dan.
So my question here is stormwater management, I know we have some groundwater issues out there. And we have stormwater issues. Are they one and the same?
They're not one and the same.
So
The problem that's occurring is that we have a stormwater system that was designed for code. We have groundwater that is infiltrating into that stormwater system, which is not the intent.
So that becomes my question, again, if we look at this village board action. If it's not specifically listed groundwater, that's kind of missing. Unless, of course, the groundwater is going to be addressed in future engineering and sanitary sewer. So I would like it spelled out groundwater and stormwater.
So, and I agree. So what I'm hearing is we revised condition to stormwater management plans and construction plans shall be revisited and approved by the village engineer, including groundwater conditions. Does that sound fair to everybody? You get that in the minutes? That's why. All right, that gives it some teeth.
Okay. I have a question, folks. In layman's term, Marilyn Roberts 1431 Fifth Avenue, Grafton. We have a property that is on the, we share the property line on east and west, our west, their east. And I mean, I've got pictures, we've got 2 acres.
Again,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
really, this is.
Yeah, so I just want to know,
Yes.
right now, we have over 202 acres underwater, inaccessible. Our access road to our back 40 acres is underwater, inaccessible. We plant in less than 2 months. So
Amber,
this
It's,
teeth,
it's a priority, so let's make
this
it a
teeth that
priority.
you're using, is it going to shelve the table phase 3 until phase 1 and 2 is remedied? Like, is it just talking in layman's terms?
Again, this is. Unless there's a significant change to the preliminary plat. This is really an affirmation that the preliminary plat was accurate. Now, what you're asking is, we will throw a condition in here that says, yeah, we agree that the preliminary plat, there's been no significant change for the final plat, but we want to add verbiage that puts the developer on notice that they need to work with the engineer, that
Okay.
these issues have to be resolved.
Okay, because she's been doing great. I mean, without her, I don't know where we'd be, but I brought this to the attention since August. And it's always like, okay, we have a plan. First it was Troy from R.A. Smith. And it's like, okay, now it's another week. And it's okay, okay, now let's go back and forth. Okay, 2 weeks later, okay, give me another week. And so now we're into March.
So the purpose of the condition gives the village board
Okay.
and the village the right to rescind this.
Okay,
So
I
there's
just wanna know.
now a condition of approval.
Okay.
So they have, this is now, will be on the record.
Okay.
And we will, Jesse, I'll let you, up to you and Amber, and how you want to communicate this condition, this change.
Yeah.
But that it is, this approval is conditional on that being resolved.
okay, great. And I invite anybody, if they want to see how serious this is, come on over, I will show you.
Yep.
Just one more comment. So I mean, I find adding that, Amber, I guess, my one concern is that, I don't think any one person can control groundwater. And obviously, before there was any movement of dirt, that whole area kind of, seeded itself and, whatever was happening was happening. And now that things are moved around, I don't know if that has an effect on the groundwater, but obviously it does.
Yeah, there were significant drain tiles on site that took a lot of that groundwater and, moved it to other locations underground where it wasn't visible. And a lot of those drain tiles have been disturbed during construction and not reconnected, which is adding, to the issue.
Okay. Further comment, last comment? Offer motion a second, all in favor? And make sure that we understand that those conditions, that new condition is communicated. And let them know that that's the way based on that being as well.
And can we get updates on that as the next few weeks?
Amber, can you do, and I think probably, start with taking it to for public vote.
We'll add it to our agenda next month.
All right, thank you. And thank you for coming and.
Thank you for letting us be heard.
And hopefully we went into a little bit more emphasis into this, in which we have. So that's the whole purpose of you coming. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's move on to item 7, department officers report. Jeff, you want to get us kicked off?
Yes, having been out at training late last week, I do have a handful of updates for the board this evening. This Friday, March 10th at 5:30 p.m. is the employee recognition event. Hope to see you all there. Big Lots has submitted plans for review. Permits have not yet been issued as those plans are under review. The coming soon signs are out, but yes, plans are under review. March 16th is the date where Riverbend Park bids are due. There's been a significant amount of interest in our online bid packet posting. Staff is hopeful that this high level of interest results in favorable bid results for the Riverbend Park amenities. On March 18th, Officer Menger from the Grafton Police Department will be recognized by the Legion as Officer of the Year. On March 21st, we'll kick off the start of in-person absentee voting here at Village Hall in advance of the April 4th spring election. April 1st is the annual Easter egg hunt. Online registration is available. April 3rd, pool passes go on sale to the public, and the summer recreation program registration is open for folks to sign up for different programming opportunities. With that, I'll close with another water related note, if you will. Work does continue on Cedar Creek Road near Streamside Court with regards to ongoing groundwater issues. There's nearby property owners that have sump pumps that are running quite regularly. The developer recently grouted nearby manholes and area around the main, which is showing some limited improvement. And I want to emphasize limited. However, more monitoring is needed as we've recently experienced significant wet weather and snow melt. Additional measures are being planned by the developer to continue to work towards a more permanent and effective solution in that area. Those are the updates that I have this evening.
You have any questions for Jesse and Becky and Andrew? All right. Let's move to the vote. Yep.
Well, Jesse, seems like a lot there. Would you be able to put that in an email or something?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I can email this out first thing in the morning.
Let's move forward. I'd like to entertain a motion for approval of two individuals and their listed and their location of employment.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 9, for approval, entertain a motion for the approval of due expenditure, $712,290.81.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion is second. I saw the back and forth. Any other final questions on the dues? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 10 is a motion to convene a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 1985 1E for real estate and competitive bargaining matters, sale of 87 North Green Bay Road.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, we are in closed session. How long do you expect us to be in closed session, Jeff?
About 15 minutes or so.
And then we will may or may not have an action item after that.
Correct.
Thank you, Mike.